welcome to Pick Central. It is myself, Big Ev, and Chris Clemma today. Rico is traveling. Smitty will be in tomorrow. Today's show is brought to you by the Barstool Sports store. We all had our sweaters on yesterday. Clemmer has a sweater out for the first time this year. His ever. What's the console again?
It's the Nintendo, the old 8-bit Nintendo, the NES. Best Christmas ever. Nintendo's right there. Go get it.
The Nintendo. There's a Drake sweater. There's so many sweaters. There's a Lewis Litt sweater. That's great if you're watching Suits right now. There's also the Invitational is tomorrow. The Barstool Invitational is tomorrow, where we have Mississippi State against Arizona State, and we have FAU against Loyola Chicago. And Clemens getting moved. Dave, Dan, Jake Marsh on the call. It's one of the best events you go to. Go buy your tickets now. You'll get to meet everybody. There's Yak basketball at halftime. I believe Brandon Walker might have the pre-show. But yeah, did you guys go last year? Did you go last year?
I did. I had a great time. I got to say, I know I look like I have a disease, but now I feel like I have a disease. I'm so far away from you guys. This is sad.
Let's be honest. What's just?
I mean, we had to keep the Clemmer away.
Can we just talk about this for a second? What is happening? The Chicago office gets a $20 million office. Last night, and I feel bad for Jason because Jason probably didn't sleep last night.
Poor Jason.
And
yeah,
I feel like
this poor guy's been running around I feel like for the last 24 hours.
I'm not gonna stop talking about it because we just have nothing here anymore. We couldn't even stream last night.
Wi-Fi can't stream.
Listen, Chicago
has
for them.
Chicago has Lil Durk performing at lunch today.
I will say Jack Mac's tweet with Chance the Rapper
very funny.
So fucking funny. And Pete getting fucking in a article today.
He's our head of media.
He's head of media.
But our internet company has no internet.
And Clemmer can't sit in a chair next to
What a rounding endorsement that is. Fantastic.
Shout out New York office. Listen, we're
scrappy.
Yeah,
we gotta say that. I mean,
listen, we're scrappy. We don't got go-karts.
Actually, the good thing is the camaraderie is really good. We couldn't stream last night, and we all still hung around and watched the game and just shot the shit. So
shitty ass game that was.
We may look.
It was the worst game ever. Jesus.
Maybe nothing works here, but we all get along and all love each other. That's a plus. It's a plus.
It's just, you don't have to get all sappy on it.
I'm just saying it's a good thing, right? I mean, yeah, we don't have much, but we have each other.
Usually in life when you have to resort to that, usually that's when things are at their worst.
Things are about to be real.
Like when you're at the point where we have our health. Yeah. That's usually a statement that's said when things are really bad.
Yeah, where it's like that's
you can be like, well, I'm alive, I guess. I'm breathing.
Yeah,
everything else went to shit.
We have all each other. Everything's. The sun came up this morning.
because we're poor and nothing,
or I would rather a fucking go-kart and a basketball court. How about that? But yeah, regardless, no stream last night because of Pete. But to the game right now, we had the Chargers Jets last night. If I read you this, Clemmer, if I read you this last night or before the game, I'm like, the Jets get this out of the Chargers, out of their top three performers. Justin Herbert has 136 yards and no touchdowns.
Okay.
Austin Eckler has 47 yards rushing, and Keenan Allen has 77 yards receiving.
So we won by 3 touchdowns, right?
27-6 with that as a top.
27-6, so we won, right?
That and Zach Wilson, I mean, he threw for 263 yards. He did throw 50 times last night.
Great, and no interceptions.
And a little bit, there was probably like 75 of that was that.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's not really praising him. It's more like he's dog shit. Remember when I said he was dog shit?
He was hard.
You guys kind of were like, not really you. Smitty was like, he's not dog. No, he's dog shit.
Well, he hadn't played dog shit for the last few weeks. Then last night he maybe had his worst game of the season
against the worst defense.
Yeah, no,
it's not like they had a good defense.
I said that was one of the weird. I mean, I watched a lot of NFL games in my day, college. That was one of the weirder football games I've ever watched. I don't know if I've ever seen a defense like the Jets defense put on a masterclass last night.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a team on the defensive side of the ball put on a masterclass like that. Hold one of the most prolific passing quarterbacks in the league to 130 yards.
Not most prolific, but sure.
Oh, he said one of
them.
He
He
said
definitely
they
one
are.
of them.
Yeah, if you look at yards, they absolutely are.
He
Yes.
throws for a lot of yards.
Ev's point is very
That's
valid.
fair. That's
Win, lose, whatever. But he throws a ton of yards. To hold him to 136 yards and to lose by 21. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that. And I would caveat this. I don't know if I've ever watched a team lose by 21 and be more sure than I was before the game started that they're the better team.
Oh,
I know the Jets are better than the Chargers. And you can argue, listen, obviously quarterback is so important, and I totally get that. And that was the reason they lost. But on the other hand, the Chargers, like, they didn't win that game because of Herbert. They lost because they got gift-wrapped points by the Jets just shitting their pants and just turning the ball over deep in their own territory. That was why they lost. I mean, if
Meek pulled this up, by the way.
That's fine.
Despite neither being on 2023 team, Joe Flacco and Mike White have still thrown the same amount of career touchdown passes to Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson. 2. Jets also scored a combined 8 offensive touchdowns across their respective Cleveland, Chicago 2022 starts. They have 8 in 8 games this year.
It's got to be. I mean, he's thrown the ball more to Garrett Wilson the last few weeks, but it's got to be so frustrating.
Mike White's a better quarterback.
I mean, Zach Wilson's
Probably, yeah.
the 40th best quarterback in the NFL, for being honest.
Honestly,
he's definitely.
You can't argue that. You might be high. That might be too high for him.
He's
no.
No, when you count guys that are injured and stuff.
No. 40? Dude, that's...
I don't think it's that crazy.
There's 32 teams.
No, 40's about there. I'm saying 40's right.
Yeah.
Clemmer's saying he should be higher. I don't know.
No. I'm saying he should be like 43 or 44.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if...
I don't think.
I don't know if that's that.
At what number, if you're actually to list them out, at what number does the debate start? Like 30-ish, 35?
Yeah.
Where you start being like, oh, this guy, maybe this guy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, nah, I'll take him over Zach Wilson.
I mean, the Falcons have
him down.
The Falcons have 2 quarterbacks that are better than Zach Wilson.
Let's not get crazy.
I mean, no, you go through it. Like
Who the Cardinals start? That guy sucked.
Tune.
Tune
He's only played one game. I don't think we can decipher him.
Yeah, but
it's not fair.
But Marty, the Falcons. The Cardinals still have Kyler Murray, who's better.
Well, I know.
But every team has a better quarterback than us.
I'm
teams have
gonna
2.
say I think at 34.
I know.
I
think about 30.
Start being like, maybe, but probably not. Keep
Yeah.
up it, and you're like 38.
I was gonna say, if we go through backups, we're saying like Andy Dalton or
Better.
Marcus Mariota,
Yeah, probably.
Cooper
Better.
Rush. Like, where do we stop?
Yeah.
We could stop at.
Ritter's better.
Yeah, I would take Ritter for sure.
It's close.
That's so
I
embarrassing.
don't think that's close.
The fact that I had to go is not good.
That's what I'm saying. It might be
Ritter who just got
It might be
benched.
42. Zach Wilson is. There's many backups, many in the NFL that are better than him.
And it's a weird one. I'm seeing some Chargers fans being like, "Oh, you're not giving us any credit
You don't
for
deserve
that
it.
game." I'm not.
No,
I'm
you
not
don't
giving
deserve
you
any
credit.
I'll give him credit for their special teams.
Actually, yeah, I'll give them credit
Sure.
for the punt return and all that, but their defense played well in theory, but I mean, the pass rush played well. I'll give them that. The pass rush played very well. I mean, Joey Bosa pretty much he was a game changer. Just the sacks, the
Incredible performance by him.
Obviously the forced fumble. So I'll give him a little credit there, but the offense deserves. I mean, they got just handed points.
Yeah, listen, the Chargers. Anyone thinks the Chargers,
They got a ball in the
good.
fucking They got a ball in the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
They got a punt return touchdown.
They're
The other
not
one
a-
was on the 30, something like that, 40, 35, 40.
especially in the AFC, they're not even in the picture for me.
They're a team that could maybe make the playoffs, but if they get in, they're gonna get beat badly by somebody good. I think.
Yeah, I mean they play the Lions
Yeah.
next week,
Tough.
and but it's at home. It's at
In
home.
Detroit?
No, it's at
It's a
Chargers.
bad
I
matchup.
still
for
think
them.
they get pummeled, but
They're -1.5 Chargers. I mean, I'm sorry, Lions.
that's a scary one.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
Chargers.
That's
Lions.
telling me it's a chart. Yeah, that's
scary. That makes me think that somehow the Lions may.
This is what happens with the Chargers. They're going to beat the Lions probably just because they'll beat the Packers and then they play the Ravens on Sunday Night Football and get smoked. That's probably what will happen. But at that point they'll be 6-5.
I mean, no, they're going to hang around. They have enough talent. They're always going to kind of be there.
that schedule is soft.
isn't great.
No, I think it's soft. They haven't played the Broncos yet this
That's
year.
what I'm saying. It isn't great. Isn't hard. I meant.
No, it's not hard at all.
They play the Bills and the Chiefs after the Bills, Chiefs, Ravens. They have 4 hard games left.
but they have some really easy ones. They have the Raiders. They have the Broncos twice. You got the Patriots in there.
Yeah.
Packers.
They're not a real team for me. They aren't. Their defense is too shitty to be.
Same
a
as
real
they
team.
ever was. I mean, it's the same team we've seen from the Chargers forever.
Yeah. But seriously, there's not much. Big Ev kind of hit everything on that. Unless you have anything else on your Jets.
I'm just really frustrated. I don't know. I as a Jets fan now, we're past the trade deadline. I just don't know how you fix it. I guess you don't fix it. And then Ev said that Monday night's game was really strange. Last week's game was strange too against the Giants. Like every game we play is fucking strange because this team is strange.
Clemmer, there is one possible way. It's do you think they should start Trevor Siemian over Zach Wilson at this point, or
Yeah.
like that's the only thing? You
No,
can really
you're right,
do?
Phil. That's a great
It's
idea.
almost like
yes.
do you try it? Like,
Yeah.
Like,
It's
what's the
like-
worst that can happen? You lose a game. Like,
No
you're already
shit.
doing
Who the
that.
Jets have
I guess
next?
so.
The
I mean,
Raiders.
On that's also
Maybe that's
Sunday
the
Night
last
Football.
game you give them.
That's Sunday Night Football, baby.
Dude, the Chargers have a 32nd ranked pass defense, and they couldn't move the ball.
Phil, I'm on the same
Oh,
side.
Phil,
as you.
I
But is this the last one where it's like, all right, the Chargers are really bad? Because he did, like, you do have to get, and I'm not trying to give him any credit because I think he's a worse quarterback. But, like, he did beat the Eagles.
I mean, it wasn't him.
I know, but he was playing.
Well,
He played well enough.
It's weird because like he had played like when I say well, I mean well for Zach Wilson.
He didn't turn the ball.
He didn't turn the ball like the last like few but prior to last night. He had strung together a few like okay starts in a row.
You sound like Robert Sala last night saying that's not the worst game we've seen him play. It's not really a compliment. But
No, it's not.
Yeah, no,
No, that's
we've
it's not
seen
like
so many
we've
bad
seen
ones.
him like kind of almost. I was thinking he maybe was getting to like game manager, like sort of, and then he just totally threw that away last night. But I mean,
How is he not getting better?
because he sucks at playing football.
Yeah, he's just a
I know,
bad
but
He was
You-
never. He was
You think
never
he sucked
good.
a little bit less?
He, like, even
Just from
like,
experience.
I mean, he probably this year sucked a little bit less than he did last year.
yes.
he also
That's
played
not really
like,
saying much.
Oh,
but
I know.
mean,
I'm looking
like,
for
listen,
anything.
C.J. Stroud was amazing in college. Bryce Young was amazing in college. Zach Wilson played for BYU, and like
was
he
like-
to put up numbers.
he was amazing against against bad amazing against bad competition.
That's what I'm saying.
Where I remember like the one that was the year that like when they played Coastal that short notice game. They lost.
That's why he got drafted second overall.
But he lost that game.
I know.
No,
but
that
that's
wasn't the game. No, but that season because I remember me and Rico. I was never high on him coming out of college. And I remember me and Rico talked about it quite a bit. It's more like college guys where the quarterback that came in right after him. I can't remember if it was Jaron Hall, the kid that started for Vikings this year. There was someone in between, I think. But the kid that came in right after, like the team didn't skip a beat. And I was like, that's how you know, like that's where you see how like someone's true value to a team as a quarterback. When this number 2 pick leaves, and you put in a new kid who's like not even really a prospect, or I can't like if it was Jaron Hall, he's like a mid-round pick, like they took a chance on, like a 4th or 5th rounder. If that's the next guy, and he like the team is the same, that's a problem. Like you see it this year with like Ohio State. Like Stroud leaves, like the team looks very different. Very different.
What pick did Josh Allen go?
7, I think.
7.
It was like 7 or 6. I'm around.
That was the Darnold draft.
7, yeah.
Because he like obviously Wyoming.
And he was the
like,
third. He was the third quarterback taken.
Yeah, so wasn't because that's a guy who played against shitty competition, but like you could tell he was a quarterback.
Josh Allen
He's
was-
more. Yeah, he's huge and athletic.
Yeah,
and-
not 5'10".
He also was. He was kind of a product of like his junior year. The team was way better. They had like some NFL guys and stuff, and then everyone left besides him. So he wasn't as good as last year. So people had some like pause.
I know you're against tanking, Ev, but imagine if this Jets team had Trevor Lawrence.
That's where I get.
You're gonna kill yourself if you keep thinking. Like that.
Yeah, that's
how I feel.
That's when you're in a bad
Dark
spot.
I am
thoughts,
in a
but it's
very
true.
bad spot with the Jets.
No, that's there are
A lot of darkness.
There are certain exceptions. I will say to tanking when it gets like the last week, and there's
No, I-
there's like that guy that's there.
You do it.
Of course, no. I was that season,
Losing the game is okay.
that Jets season.
That's
I was
where I will, like,
rooting.
I'll
I
bet
was
the
rooting
Giants
not
have
to win a
this-
game.
The Giants have the second, our second overall pick, and we're playing. Just say we're playing against the Cardinals.
I'm being real. If you're rooting for any Giants wins this year, I'm gonna be very mad at you.
Oh no! When we play, we need to win. We have to try to win.
We,
at
we
least.
cannot try to win games. We need a quarterback.
Yeah, but even doing that, you see, for example, like tanking, like
Learn from my
it doesn't
mistakes,
just-
Ev.
like there's no true like can't miss guys for like a dime a dozen. Like in our lifetime, there's been like 3 true like can't miss guys, and I would say even one of them sort of missed. I would really say like basically Peyton Manning, like Luck and like Lawrence that are true. Like they were like can't miss when they were like
Right.
18 years old.
You don't think Caleb Williams is can't miss?
I wouldn't. I don't think he's at that like
He's not.
can't miss.
Yeah.
can't
At
miss.
least from.
Like, I think he's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't draft him. I'm just saying like we weren't hearing about Caleb Williams when he was like 18. Like we knew Trevor Lawrence in like before he stepped foot in Clemson, we knew it was like that draft. He's gonna be the first pick in like 3 years from now. And it came. That was exactly what happened.
I knew way too much about Spencer Rattler before he went to Oklahoma.
But also,
He was on TV too.
The
but
quarterback classes the next few years aren't that great, right? Am I
This is
wrong?
like a
This one's good.
is a
This one's
legendary.
loaded.
this one's like it's deep. It has a lot of like
This
there's some
one's
there's
for
some hidden
sure
gems.
Oh,
low.
but I think Phil's like saying after this year.
We'll see. I mean, probably. Not. I mean, you see kind of what happens because obviously, like there's rare guys like I'm making an example out of Burrow. He's unique, but guys come out of the woodwork. But I would agree in theory that yes, it's
Is Jordan
definitely less.
Travis this year too?
Yes,
Yeah, but
he's
I
like
don't, I, don't,
25.
I don't know how much of an NFL prospect.
25, is he?
He's like 24
Right,
years old.
24.
Really?
Yeah.
He's been there a while. He's been there like 5 years, I think.
I was gonna say Michael Penix. I think is like 24 too.
Yeah,
They're-
Penix older.
They think there's going to be, because I think we're all in the same, like, I'm looking at mock drafts all the time. It's
This is a year I could see like 4 or
There's-
5 guys going in the first
They
round.
think, some people have 6 quarterbacks getting off the board in the first round this year. I don't think 6, I think 6 is too much.
I'm going to guess like 5.
Yeah,
Because I think it'll be like obviously Caleb Williams, Drake May. Penix probably finds his way there.
So he's one I think might drop.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what people, just because he's been there so long, but he just was so good. I mean, I would imagine.
His injuries?
I think
no?
that there's a lot of weird guys that I don't know where NFL teams like the Bo Nixes and like the
That's my question.
Tyler Van
Nick.
Dykes and like the
Riley Leonard.
like Riley Leonard.
I
yeah,
know
like-
you don't want to say it, but JJ.
Oh man, if Giants take Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard is
Duke
also
QB.
like people love him as a NFL like prospect. I feel.
He's super athletic, and I will say this:
Come back though in one more year, right?
I think he probably does come
hurt,
back with all
too.
the injuries, but he's somebody too on Duke. You see, like the second he comes out, they can't do anything.
Yeah,
They were beating Florida State when he was in.
that's true.
He came out literally was like they couldn't move the ball after. He's definitely, I think he's pretty good.
But like we're say obviously we're not. I know the schedule, but
Ewers.
if we're playing the Cardinals last game. We have the second pick. They have the first pick, and if we lose, we get Caleb Williams. If they lose, they get Caleb Williams, or they trade for somebody to get Caleb Williams. Would you want the Giants to lose? Last game.
I'll tell you what, it's a weird one because I'm starting to like Caleb Williams less and less.
Well, that's
I'm starting to kind of like Drake May more and more.
oh,
Even though he has lost, but his team around him, I said it from the beginning of the season, is not good.
let me.
Like I don't think like you can't blame him. Like they lost to
I don't blame
Virginia,
him.
horrible.
No, he's a good quarterback. I'm just not sure if I want him completely.
You're not a Drake May guy.
I'm not sold on him completely as a Giants. Like he could be.
I'm more just thinking about him in general. I'm not even saying Giants. I'm just thinking like, good. Is he going to be good in the NFL?
For
period?
something stupid in my head, I just think he's Sam Howell, and Sam Howell is also kind of good.
Yeah, that's not like the.
not the
I mean,
worst.
a lot to happen still, but I mean, he's looked solid.
But since we're talking
Throwing
about
some picks, but
talking about Caleb Williams, and we didn't talk about this yesterday because we did a lot of NFL. He loses 52-42 at home against Washington in a week 9, week 8, week 10,
So
whatever it is, week 10 we'll say.
Week 10, I think, for college.
Game. And he goes and he does the Lambeau leap to his family and starts crying.
Was that his mom?
It was his mother.
Okay.
I think that was weird as shit. I think that you can get emotional after games. I get it. I think that sobbing on the sideline with your mother after, little fucking weird. It wasn't like, because the guy in Washington, I believe it was, his dad died, and he cried. That's, you know what? You're allowed to cry when your dad dies and
Yeah.
you win for your dad or whatever it is. That's a personal moment. Never have a problem against that, obviously. Unless something happened with Caleb Williams' family that we don't know about, but we feel like it would have came out. Sobbing like that was weird as fuck to me.
I honestly thought it was weirder at the press conference. I don't know if you saw this part where he was like, I want to go and cut it with my
Yes,
dog.
no, that's way.
I
that's
thought that
also weird.
I thought that was worse than the crying. To me, the crying doesn't like. I don't love seeing him just like sobbing, but I also on some level, to me it shows. I mean, he cares a lot. And I think to me it's that I don't know. I think he's crying just that like the season they obviously start hot. He comes back after Heisman.
Yeah.
He's thinking like, oh, we're gonna go win like a national title or something, and then all of a sudden you look up and you lost 3 of your last 4 games. The defense can't stop anybody. I don't know. I just think he cares a lot. I'm trying to like give him a little bit benefit of the doubt.
He did comment on Max Duggan last year crying.
Did he?
Yes.
He tweeted lol. Do you want me to find it?
Oh, that's another good.
Tweeted lol when he was crying.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's
And that's where
not always fun when the robbers when the rabbits got the gun.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Shoes on the other foot now.
What I'm saying
tough.
with you is what you're saying. I get that where it's like it is kind of nice. Duke's is pulling it up right now. Yeah, how can you not lol when he's crying? And Robert Griffin, also funny, tweeted the same thing like, how can you not love Caleb Williams after he cried? So at least he's been, but Caleb Williams saying lol to
Consistent.
that. Yeah, he's been consistent.
It's that Duggan one. It was a little more like.
Duggan should cry.
Also, if you remember that specific game was the Big 12 championship.
Yes.
He literally put his like soul into that.
I didn't have a problem with Duggan.
He ran like
there.
over and over and over and over
What
again.
you said right
that
there
one game
was-
when he scored the touchdown and they had to like pick him up because he was so exhausted.
Yes.
And they had undefeated season. They lose obviously that game by like a last second field or whatever it was, like a touch. They lost by close.
Well, you said right there, Big 12 championship game, not Week 10 when your fucking team's already lost 2 games. It wasn't like that was the game to get them out. They were going to be out no matter what.
I guess,
No, but that goes way. Duggan, sorry to interrupt, but like Duggan goes way deeper than that too. He lost the starting job going into the year. Chandler got out week 1. They had to call Duggan back in. Pretty sure he like almost died a year earlier. Like he had like some, I don't want to say like disease or something. Like something was wrong. Something was wrong with him.
Yeah, no, and that's why that I have no problem with Duggan crying, but Caleb Williams, you're going to be a number 1. Also, Duggan, is he even in the NFL? Like he's.
I think he might
he
be
got
on the.
cut.
I think he was on the Chargers during preseason.
Yeah, so like he knows.
He's not the backup.
He knew that he wasn't fucking gonna be like Caleb Williams is gonna be number 1 pick overall, most likely, like or 2, whatever it is. I get caring about the game. I love when people care about the game. I get you put your body on the line and you do all this shit to put on a show, but cry in the locker room.
I see a couple different sides.
Cry at home.
So Caleb Williams is 21 years old. He's my, I'm older, so I look at him as a young man. However, the flip side could be, well, people in World War II were 18 years old. So like, what do we do? You can't say 21 is young forever. But I feel like in this world, in 2023, 21 is young. I think he needs to have more awareness not to do it publicly, especially if he's going to be in the NFL next year. Like, you can't do that shit in the NFL. Like, you just can't. So you have to have some more awareness. Someone needs to sit with him and talk with him. I don't know. It's hard to judge emotion. Like, like Ev said, at least he cares, but you also have to have a level of maturity and, unfortunately, like, to be a man and step up a little bit, but like, and not cry publicly.
That is part of going to the NFL too.
It is. You can't do that in the NFL. So if he's, if we're talking about this guy being a starting quarterback for the New York Giants, imagine if he did that. Game 1 of the Giants, he's crying. Like, you just can't do that.
I actually have a different I don't have a problem with him crying.
I do.
So I think he puts up. It's not like he's crying after a bad performance. I looked at it as he keeps on putting up like 45 points per game.
But you don't look at that as like showing up your teammates.
Yeah, that's not a good.
I think that was a little bit.
It was kind of what I said, where like you said, you're losing. You're putting up 42 points. You're losing. I don't see the show. I just think you're just frustrated. I think he's just frustrated with like just the way the seasons went.
Yeah,
but that's where the maturity.
I don't love that he went and sobbed in his mother's arms.
Yeah.
You guys
listen,
defending him. I think is.
I'm defending him. I'm not trying to like fully defend him. Just like a little bit.
That's where I'm at.
Like I don't like what Clemmer said is right. Like in the NFL, I God forbid if my quarterback in the NFL cried in his mother's arms after a loss. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I looked at it as like a frustration thing, and I hated how it was the Duggan thing. Like him doing that after making fun of Duggan for crying.
He was also sobbing in his mother's.
No, you're right. He was like
shaking when you're like.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what again, mock draft season. That's the exact what I keep coming back to is like, yes, he's an all-world talent, but like his mentals, that's what's like worrying me a little. I know it's crazy.
It's a little bit.
No, I don't think you're crazy,
dude.
The NFL, you're gonna hit some adversity. Like when the going gets tough, Do you crawl up? Do you curl up?
Look
in a
at
ball
what
and cry?
happened. Daniel Jones got a
Or do you
4-year
sack up?
deal for $200 million, and now his career is like maybe be over. Like it's not over. Obviously, someone
Yeah.
will end up, but like the NFL is so fast and it can turn on you so fast in a matter of games that this guy can't be crying over losing to fucking Washington. And like that, you do have to look at it a little bit. Like, yes, he's frustrated that his defense is giving up 50 points a game. He's putting up that's still showing up your teammates. That's not being a good teammate. Where if he was crying with his teammates, a little different too, I think.
Yeah, I think we're picking like I'm thinking in my head. I wouldn't have say the visual of him crying was like he's on the bench. He's got like the towel kind of like over like almost
Yes.
Cam Newton over his
Okay
head.
with that.
He's not like sobbing, but he's kind of one of those where like eyes are red. He's just like you can see he's like pissed off, sad, mix of emotions. It's I feel like at times when I say it out loud, I feel like we're like nitpicking the kid a little bit, where it's like,
But that's
but at the same
what it comes
time,
with,
I
being
do
number
think
one
there's some fairness to it, I guess, as well. At the same time, I know it's a weird. I don't think I've ever just seen a kid just like sob like that after
to his mom.
like you said to his mom after like a week. Like you said, like a week 10 game where it wasn't like you said, like they didn't just lose like the national title or something. They didn't just lose like the Pac-12 championship where they're undefeated or something.
You know, Washington's dad died.
They lost their
He
third.
was
They
like-
lost their third game in 4 weeks.
Do the cameras have to be showing this?
Yes. That's good for them. Like
You know what, Phil?
Yeah,
I-
you
I-
do-
I-
we have to
I mean,
like-
Phil,
You do, Phil,
I'll put it like
yeah.
this, if
part of
you
it.
could be on every fucking commercial during all day college football, if you're on
Yeah.
every Wendy's commercial, fucking that commercial,
Phil,
you
that's
cry on the
your-
sideline. We're gonna,
is-
the cameras are gonna show
That
it.
is literally your job. is
That
to
was
show
shocking coming from you.
everything.
Yeah.
You were in everyone's
You're the last
face.
person.
I
I'm muting him. I'm muting him. That was
thought Phil
ridiculous.
would be saying the opposite.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't cry on the
There's a
field.
point where I feel bad for him because I don't want an emotional moment with his mother being shown.
But it wasn't because of like
He's a grown
something
man.
personal. Like if it was something personal and like he's
maybe it
playing
is,
for,
and we just don't know.
Maybe.
It might be.
but,
See, like,
but
see,
he'd
it
come
wasn't
out and
Booby
say,
Miles.
Where is
It wasn't Booby Miles in
No.
Friday Night Lights. Like,
Meek
No.
compassionate Phil?
yeah, where the fuck?
is this
What
coming
happened?
from?
You have feelings?
Meek is
Yeah, I have
compassion.
feelings.
You have
Maybe not for-
feelings?
maybe not for little runts like you, but for
He feels bad for Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams may be my quarterback in a few months, so I am going to feel bad.
I have
I'm
no
starting to think I don't know if I want him.
I don't know if I want him either.
I have no problem with him if it's about the competition and like your dream has always been like to go to like a college football national championship and like you cry over that. I'm fine. Like exactly what you said. Crying on the sideline, towel over your head, do it in the locker room, do it at your girlfriend's. The fact that he cried to his mom, sobbed, and then made the cuddling comment.
It's
Like,
fucking.
cut out my
You're a
dogs. I was like,
pussy.
bro.
All right, let's take a look.
Sounds like you're a pussy.
All right, let's look at the other side of things. So we're kind of all judging this guy on crying. Meanwhile, if a guy has a temper tantrum and gets a flag because he's too angry, we don't judge him. Like it's almost like that's typical what we expect. We would never spend this
does
much
it-
time.
No, if he
Not this
does
much
it,
time.
if he did it
If he
six
did it,
times,
if he did it,
Artie would never write a blog about someone
if he
being
did it,
angry.
if he did it in a crucial moment,
Maybe, maybe not.
I'd be like, what's good with you?
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, yeah, but you wouldn't think about it a week later. Where the cable,
No,
it's
probably-
funny how
you're
we
probably
judge crying more severely than being angry and costing your team actual yardage.
I think
I'm just saying.
I think it's the way he cried.
yeah,
I agree.
No one.
It was
it's
weird.
Like,
It's like I
what
said,
player
if he was just sitting there, there'd be maybe a meme of it that people would like just troll him.
I have
'cause
no
he's
problem with
in the top spot. So you're always gonna when you're in the top spot, you're gonna get shit.
Even if he
Heisman winner.
cried at the podium, I would be like,
Yeah.
all right, fine. Like it's a little bit of a pussy.
He was
but,
like
listen,
hyperventilating. Like his
he
whole
was-
body was shaking.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
and,
He
like
was
his
like,
mom
"Ugh."
was covering his face with like it's with the mom too is a problem.
I think I've cried like that like 3 times in my life.
Yeah.
Have you ever cried like that for losing a bet? Or
No.
No.
I cried like that when I got divorced. Like seriously. That's
Well,
that's the last time I was crying so much I had body shakes.
Has
And
sports ever made you cry before?
Yes, 1991 World Series.
Yeah.
Wait,
The
one World Series?
91.
Diamondbacks beating the
I like the Braves. They were cool.
Diamondbacks
gonna
beating the
say it.
Yankees
No,
made
no,
me cry.
no.
I was 10 years old. It was cool. No,
Cried
Phil
in
doesn't like that.
happiness.
Yeah, I know. I cried of sadness.
I've cried of happiness.
I've cried of
I thought
happiness.
the Braves.
Cried happiness
I thought
too, but-
I liked Tom Glavine and Steve Avery, and they
This is
made me
disgusting
happy.
to me. Just you like talking about the 91.
I was
Braves.
10 years old.
It's still disgusting.
I
to
know.
me.
What have sports made you cry?
Diamondbacks. That Duncan went off of Rivera Gonzalez fucked me.
Have you ever cried of happiness?
Yeah, I've cried of happiness, but I don't know about sports.
Sports?
I've cried of
No, I've cried of
I've been
happiness
so
in life,
happy,
but-
but I don't know if I end up crying.
I have a really pathetic one that I was happy about.
Okay.
I think I've said it before. It was the Giants the Giants, like I said, Ohio State. Giants are always my favorite teams. I was like a kid. The last year when we went to London and beat the Packers, they had a 9:30 London game before a stream. That was the game where I had in my mind, I was like, we're competitive again. And I legitimately was like shedding like small tears in my living room, being we're back. I admit it.
You're worse than Caleb Williams.
No, for sure. I love the Giants. Like us being like the doormat of the league for 5 years. I was like a different person during that.
It was a
time.
great game.
How's it feel being the doormat again?
I want to cry again. But that game, like we came back and beat Rodgers, like beat the Packers. That was the game I was like, oh my god, the Giants are like. That was where I was like, I'm all in on Dable. I'm like, we're like a real football team again.
I think I'd cry if the Jets won a Super Bowl.
Like
even if the Jets went to Super Bowl, I think I'd have a tear in my eye.
See, but I'm weird. I would cry more of happiness at weirdly as like a grown man than I did when I was like a kid. If that
absolutely. No,
it's like it switches.
Hate to break it to you. The older you get, the more you cry.
Because when we were in the Super Bowl, I was in 8th grade and I was a senior in high school. And like 8th grade was like the best thing in the world. I was like I didn't cry, but I was like running around my house with my parents. And then like senior year of high school, I was like at like a party with like all this girl had like a big like party, and it was like the best thing ever when we won.
Oh, I cry so much easier.
I didn't cry, but it was just like just a great celebration.
You ever cried, Phil?
06 NLCS Game 7, but that's like everyone my age. That's cried at that point. That's not really special.
How old were you?
I was in 4th grade.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I cried 18-1. I cried after the Patriots lost that Super Bowl.
That makes me happy.
I didn't cry.
No, like wept. And then I walked in the next day with Patriots gear, and my Giants friend goes, "Why the fuck are you wearing that?" And I said like, "Shut up, pussy," and I got sent to the principals within minutes.
That's you know what? That's embarrassing. You wore a Patriots.
My mom was just like, "Just do it," and I was like, "You know what? Yeah, I guess like now, like yeah." I was like, "I guess I was the mama's boy back," and I'm making fun of Caleb Williams. I cried, and I also
but
cried.
you were not 21.
I was like in 4th, 5th grade.
Yep.
I cried of happiness when the Patriots also beat the Seahawks.
So when the Mets lost the World Series in 2015, that was my freshman year of college. I didn't cry when we lost, but the day after, I literally went on campus, saw a couch, and just took a nap there for like 5 hours out of depression.
Walking out of that game was so awful. Like I went to that game and like leaving everyone was just silent. It was like being at a funeral. It was awful.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that's
I got breaking news, by the way.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
On another note, Jacob Eason is working out for the Giants.
Oh, awesome. Jacob Eason.
That's a good quarterback.
Jacob Eason, great.
He's gonna ruin your tank.
He's not Jake. He's probably better than Jake Fromm.
Jake Fromm was the worst quarterback I've ever
I'm convinced he's the worst quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. And no
I'd
disrespect.
rather
to
Zach
Jake
Wilson
Fromm.
than Jake.
No, you can't do that, Ev. You can't say he's the worst ever. No disrespect.
That's
a lot of disrespect.
No, but a human being though.
No, I'm gonna say.
You can't say no
I'll say
disrespect.
disrespect to Jake Fromm. It's the worst quarterback. I've ever
It's like
seen.
separating. Listen, like it's tough with these guys.
No disrespect.
It's listen.
You say he's the worst quarterback ever
played in the NFL.
No disrespect.
I mean, he did a lot better than I could do. I mean, that's where I'm like, you got to separate the art from the artist a little bit. I'm sure he's a fine human being.
I'm sure he is, but that was a lot of disrespect.
He was a good quarterback in college at Georgia.
Yeah, no, he's.
Although Kirby Smart picking him over Fields was like laughable decision, but that's another story for another day.
So a lot more disrespect to him.
I mean, Fields being a better quarterback than him is no like.
No,
I think he would say that.
I'd even say that.
Is Jacob Eason a better quarterback than Zach Wilson?
No.
We'll see.
No.
I thought
I don't think so. He was at Georgia he started his career at Georgia. He was who Fromm took the job from initially.
Yeah.
How did we get Trevor Siemian to start? How do we start that movement? Phil's got me all in on this.
If they lose to the Raiders next week,
no, we lose the Raiders. The season's over. So
no, it's not.
You know what?
4-5. AFC, all those teams we talked about yesterday.
I'm gonna say this. It might shock you how worse it could get.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me of the Jake Fromm because the year when Jones got hurt a couple years ago, we had Glennon, and I didn't think it could get worse than Glennon. And then I saw Jake Fromm, and I was like, oh my god, it actually can get worse.
Jake Fromm's worse than Tommy DeVito?
Yes, actually way worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Clemmer, let me pitch the scenario for you. This is a real scenario happening in a real live NFL game.
Real quick though, no disrespect.
No disrespect.
No disrespect to him though. It was we had second and 9, our second and 10 on like our own like 2-yard line. The Giants playing Washington. We ran back-to-back QB sneaks to just punt because it was more likely that he would throw a pick six than it was for him to get a first down. And he was starting the NFL quarterback for the New York Giants multiple games.
That's rough.
I saw halves that he threw the ball like 20 times and had like 6 yards. He has no business being on an NFL roster, and there's a reason he's starting multiple games for the Giants. Usually when we talk about for example, Badgett, the quarterback for Chicago right now, like you go have like one decent game, make an NFL career out of you for yourself. He's not in the league anymore, and he never will be again. He is the worst quarterback I've ever seen in NFL history. No disrespect.
Yeah, though that I can't believe he kept going.
Jacob Fromm.
Oh, Jake Fromm. I'm not kidding though. He really is the worst.
That's what brought me to tears watching them beat the Packers. It was watching that for a whole season. Watching that really for like 5 seasons, but that was my lowest point of any team I've ever rooted for as a fan. Watching that live and with my dad and me, we're looking at each other like this is the lowest it's ever been.
This is the lowest point for being a fan I am with the Jets right now.
No, you can't say that.
Or like it's 12 years in a row not making the playoffs.
But you have a good. I'm talking about,
That's so stupid.
We
you have such a good team.
No. It's that's what makes it so
actually can like
frustrating.
win games.
I don't mean this is no. This is not the worst team I've seen. Obviously not. But when you add in the years, they compound. It's like interest.
No, because
Depression is like interest.
You have a defense that is going to be good for the next couple of years. Now you're going to be able to.
You gotta remember, they're gonna have to start paying these guys soon.
But they will though.
They will. Like they have it.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
will. Like Sauce.
They'll pay Sauce.
Like
they'll pay. They already paid Quinnen Williams.
Windows in the NFL could be really long, or they could be really
No,
short.
I'm saying
that is fair. That's fair.
I think this defense will be good for at least 2 more years. At
We
least.
said that about Jacksonville, and look what happened with Blake Bortles.
They also kind of like traded away their guys.
Talking about the defense, just the
I
defense.
know.
Also, like with the Aaron Rodgers stuff, this is a rough time. Marty, don't sell it short. This is awful. This season's been so tough.
Well, it's not like it's not your guy. It's not the Jets' fault that he got hurt.
I know, but it doesn't
Like,
make it any. This doesn't.
It
make
does make it better where it's like we had the right pieces. We had it. We were right. They finally did something right. Zach Wilson isn't you. Zach Wilson was your fault 2 years ago, but the fact that this year he got hurt, like you knew you got the right pieces for once. You went out and did.
And it still didn't work.
It didn't work because he got hurt. Like you
know.
can't control someone getting hurt. The Giants are so far away.
Yep.
Where it's like I'd rather still your situation than ours.
Because you guys are, it's, your point is correct. It's got to be more frustrating watching Zach Wilson play because you're sitting there being like, imagine if Aaron Rodgers was playing. This team would be like,
Or Trevor Lawrence, or anything else.
Super Bowl contender. It's Rodgers. I get the Lawrence thing.
It's really hard.
But I think at this point it's Rodgers who you're thinking about.
12 years not making the playoffs. You guys have won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen one.
That in that case,
we actually the Giants haven't won a division in 12 years.
Yeah.
We haven't won the division since 2011.
That's crazy.
Wait, when was the last time the Jets won a division?
2000.
It was a test of
No, 90s,
right?
90s might be 97, right?
I mean, the Patriots won it for like 20 years straight, so I guess that makes sense.
Shit. 90s.
Unless we snuck one in there.
You might have.
Oh,
That is
02?
insane.
You guys were wild cards both years. You made the.
I want to look it up back there.
Yeah. The Sanchez years.
With great
Sanchez
pleasure.
years were wild cards both times. We had to play all those games on the road.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember a lot of white.
Yeah, what was the
jerseys.
Jets' last home playoff game?
Holy shit. You guys have won the AFC East twice, 98 and 2002.
2002. Okay, I was in college that year. And we also second round to the Steelers.
Oh man,
So is that the Jets' last home playoff game, 2002?
it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get a home playoff game is win the division.
Or you have the better wild. Yeah, like it's a weird year and it all shakes out. But yeah,
Wow.
22 years.
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. That shit compounds.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um.
I'm not gonna.
That's what I was gonna say. The Giants haven't had like weird heartbreaks because
No.
anytime we've gotten like a little sliver of success, we just like won it all.
I've seen you guys
No,
win
but-
3 in my life.
but then
in
we've
my
just
life.
done nothing.
In my lifetime, you won 4, but I've seen you win 3.
Other than that, we just do nothing.
Yeah. We're all a bust.
That's why That's why for some reason for like a second that we convinced ourselves we could beat the Eagles.
Yes.
How foolish we were. What a mistake. Jesus. They beat the shit out of us.
I still think if we played them 100 times, we'd probably beat them like once out of those 100.
Honestly, Phil, I probably agree.
Maybe 2.
They were just way better. Way better.
Maybe 0. To be honest.
Especially in Philly, maybe 0 out of 100.
Last night, first night college basketball. I did hit a $2,500 parlay.
Way to go, Marty.
Thank you guys.
Very happy for
Thank
you.
guys. And you know who else hit it? You know, I actually want to give a shout out to a great friend of mine who is not like you guys, who listen to me sometimes and actually can be a good friend. His name is Nick Mangold, who said, "You know what, Marty? I listened to your advice yesterday and took a lot of the huge favorites because the first day of college basketball is the best day of the year because they don't have the lines right yet. These Kansas, Duke, all the top, really top guys, and then not the frauds like Michigan State who lost outright like a fucking losers. Nick Mangold hit a plus 4,700 parlay last night.
Oh, wow.
Six picks.
Well, you want to know who 3 of the legs were? My consultant's picks, 3-0.
Who?
It was the over in North Carolina, the under in Boston Northeastern, and Butler. All were like easy.
And then the rest of mine, it was mine. Villanova.
Because he texted me after and said, like, basically said, he gave me a 3-point sniper underscore. That's his handle. I'm not hiding him. He's a great guy. Show him his love. Great capper. Give us his picture free. He's my consultant. And he went. Mangold asked me like, what's his handle? I gave it to him, and I texted him after. I was like 3-0 today, and he said chilled all of them, and then he goes, I might kill Marty if his Duke doesn't cover. Final leg of a parlay that used your boys' picks, and I said like you had a 5 leg as well. He goes -6 plus 4,700.
Yeah. And
obviously Duke hit, so it was all good.
Hit easily. Villanova, Purdue, like Kansas was winning 55-17 at the half.
I got to give Marty credit. So Marty obviously is horrible at betting on the NFL. I've got 20 units on him this year. He's terrible. But I will say this: Marty did walk around all day yesterday, was telling everyone, and I did not take his advice. Marty was on college basketball like stink on shit. Marty had that mile away. So
only the first day. The first day.
But everything you said happened.
The right ones though.
You did,
which I did. Yeah.
I did obviously.
I still
like you see, there's.
Could have picked Michigan State.
And you could have taken.
Well, what was the spread in that Michigan State game?
I know they're -3,000 in the money line.
I think I saw -16. I could be wrong.
16. Okay, that's high enough that it's like.
No, Marty definitely deserves credit. Marty did a great job.
Like
it wasn't the 30. It wasn't the 30.
That's I feel like the ones like Marty, like it's like the ones you see like 30. It's 30 for a reason.
That's what I'm talking about. The 30s and the high 20s are when it's about 18. That's not the Michigan State was 16.5.
Just so you, I also I lost a 6-leg parlay yesterday on Dayton by half a point because I grabbed the line late. Like I didn't get any closing line value.
Worse when it's your team.
It opened up at 14. I got it at 16.5, and it ended.
It's worse when it's your team. So you hit 5.
What?
You hit the 5.
I hit the 5 others. Yeah, I had Oregon. Houston was. Oh my God.
Did you at least play?
What was that number?
Individually or no?
That was 30.5.
Yeah, the 30s. Well, these 30s teams where it's the top 10 teams where like it was Duke, Kansas, like the difference in talent between those two teams are so on their worst night is still better than 30 points.
This is where we're different. I can never bet on my own team.
Oh, like, Duke, I bet on every.
I already care so much about the game. I don't need a more of a reason to be disappointed.
If you
so
really
I was like that, and for so many years I didn't bet on the Patriots. And then I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And now I started betting on them, and I lose every fucking week.
I'm also pretty what Duke is my most honest I am. And if you offline, if you tell me if you want to bet on them, I'm my most honest with them. But yesterday is the best day of college basketball because it's just so many 30-point spreads where they beat the fuck out of them.
All right, Marty, so let me push back on that a little bit. So today, a lot of the teams that played yesterday, I imagine, have today off, and I imagine there's hopefully a new slate of who do you like today that's in that similar situation?
The thing is, there isn't many top teams playing today because the top teams playing today is Auburn versus Baylor, and they're -1.5. But I love Creighton -35.5 against Florida A&M.
So you like Creighton? Yeah. You think that's a great pick?
35 is deep, but Creighton is very good this year. They're picked to be 1 or 2 in the Big East. If it's up to people, I think it's. People say Marquette, even though UConn is still there. It's crazy. People pick UConn. UConn's 3rd in the league right now. People didn't even give them 1 vote to win the Big East.
Wow.
They won the
championship. They did lose a lot, but still.
They brought back some as well.
I know for sure.
And then Marquette
they got better.
I think they got better.
I think UConn got better. Besides the fact, like, they have to see how Castle works out to, like, take over that Hawkins role. But, like, everywhere they're solid. Like, Cam Spencer is a better Joey Calcaterra. Like, I think they still got Tristan Newton. I think they're fucking phenomenal.
They had that big dude Klingon's a beast.
I mean, yeah, and
like, so
they had the
good.
2-headed monster with Sonogo in him last year, but like he gets Sonogo's minutes really takes over.
Yeah,
they stay healthy. They're dangerous.
So you like Creighton -35.5? That's a huge number.
Yeah,
You like that? It's your
love
pick.
it.
All right. Let's go.
Creighton
I'm riding with you.
35, and this is a game that I'm a little scared to take, and that's why I'm going to take Stony Brook plus 17.5 against St. John's.
You want to know who I realized with Butler, who's on Butler now, is like one of my favorite guys at St. John's? Polish Alexander.
I can't believe he's still going.
He's at Butler. That's my guy. That's been my guy forever.
Yeah, I know. He's. I thought
remember
he
as
was
a
gonna be
freshman, he's
great.
a scrappy point guard.
Yeah, but and then I
How does he
also.
still in the Big East?
Um,
He's a classic Big East player.
this is always a weird game. Comes in. So Auburn and Baylor are playing, and Baylor has the little number next to them, number 20.
Chill,
Auburn
Bruce
does
Pearl.
not, and Auburn's minus 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, I like.
Weird game.
See, I don't know enough about. I don't know enough about either of them this early in the season, to be honest.
And
I
also
just know Bruce Pearl's done a good job with. I mean, obviously Scott Drew's been great at Baylor, but
that's why I just go this game. I literally just go Scott Drew. That's literally like he's been so
Bruce
good.
Pearl though.
Bruce Pearl's great. And I like Maryland minus 20.
Met him at the. He came to the Final Four. Bruce Pearl's one of those guys you can just like listen to him talk for like 3 hours.
Well, this is what we're saying. What we're saying here, like this, there's college basketball every night. There's always going to be like a decent enough game where you're like, oh, I'll watch that.
Even on Friday after football season is when they have the real shitty games. It's always just like the Horizon League.
Yes.
But there'll be like one Big Ten game.
Yep. I want
Like,
you
they'll
to
like
try
throw
and get
one in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'll definitely make more of it. I'm trying to get more in the NBA this year. I've taken a couple of years kind of off.
I'm in the
more-
NBA. Yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm with you.
There's no NBA game on
I'm
tonight.
back in on the NBA this
Yeah.
year too.
Too.
But your love for college basketball is kind of why I love baseball. Because every night during baseball season, there's a game that I'm interested in. I know it's not like if you're a real, seam head, you're really into it. And it's like, all right, there's a game on that I really love.
Man, I like that.
Seam head. You fucking.
It sounds like a
I
racial.
love
It
that.
sounds like a
yeah.
slur.
Yeah, it sounds like you did some type of slur.
No, you guys know how much I love baseball, but I understand the passion for college basketball because no matter what, it's such a comforting feeling to know no matter what, there's a game on that I care about. I have something to entertain myself tonight.
Duke
It's
has-
awesome.
It's people will always say obviously something because I didn't go there. Well, I did. I am an alumni. I did take one credit there. People forget, but that's like them and the Yankees.
Who was that class in?
What?
Well, you have a credit from Duke?
Yeah, public relations.
Public relations.
Yep. I can't wait for this year already. I can't wait. It's gonna be the best. We'll get more into it. The games suck right now. They're playing nobody. Duke plays Arizona Friday though. It's gonna be a huge game.
It's big.
Let's go Creighton.
I
Yeah,
like
Creighton.
Baylor for what it's worth.
That's what I'm leaning towards
I like
as well.
because I the number scares me, but I do like. I know they have like Jaden Nunn from VCU, who I've watched him. He's like in the Scott Drew like defense. I think he's gonna be a stud. I also saw that they got 2 new freshmen coming in, which should be able to replenish the scoring that they're missing from Keontae George and LJ Cryer last year. So
How's Keontae George doing?
he's in the NBA.
I know, that's what I'm saying. How is he?
He's like basically like not literally, but he's like dead to me now. Like I don't follow. Like I don't.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I like completely forgot
Yeah,
about him
like,
after last year.
I follow like just the Celtics in the NBA.
And just to give my boy a shout out real quick, Hunter Dickinson, 100% from 3 last night, 3 for 3, 21 points.
also,
unbelievable.
Albany plus 9.5. Take it against UMass.
Okay, Indiana is a weird line. Florida Gulf Coast plus 11.5 against
One
them.
of my consultants plays.
11.5?
He likes FGCU.
Yeah, I do too. All right, well I'm
I
on
got
that
12.
then.
I got 12. He gave me this morning.
I'll be on that as well. We'll talk more about that. I do want to talk about what's up.
I just wanted to give a shout out to our guy Brad. He had an amazing stat on Twitter.
Oh yeah, what was it?
So if you his is sweet. If you blindly bet the under in every NFL game this season, you are 84-51.
Insane.
62%.
I've been saying it all year with the
Just
unders
took
like
the
that.
Under.
To be that percentage this late in the season is like unprecedented.
That's wild.
Like if you look at most NFL years, it like the over-unders ends up obviously one's going to favor slightly. You're talking 50 like 0.7 to like 49.3%. Like it's basically where if you blindly bet either side, you're going to lose on juice, a little bit on the juice. I've never seen this where it's like that's an insane. It's
wild.
30 games over 500.
30 games.
$100 better. You have almost $3,000, even with juice.
And I'm on the under for both the Thursday night game and the Germany game already.
It's-
Already bet it.
The trends become so known. Like the under usually in past times, the over is always public. But I think over the last few years now with gambling being legalized, there's so much more like information out there. I think gamblers are more educated than they've ever been, and that's why you're seeing these. Like last night, the public was all over the under. It smashed.
Yeah.
Like, and you've seen these like the primetime thing has become like well known. It's so secret that primetime the game's been going under, and it's been the public have been on the under almost every time, and it smashes almost every fucking time.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm putting the Jets back in the graveyard, by the way. I took them out of the graveyard and put them back in. I'm done betting the Jets.
It was the only reason I wasn't more frustrated because I had the under, so at least I split it. But
My dick kicked in.
that was, I mean, they lost by 21. They were if they lined up and played this game in 20 minutes, I would take the Jets plus 3.5 again.
I would fuck up that Cinnabon so bad. I love Cinnabon.
See, Steve-O was this year?
Yeah, we have a star-studded cast coming in today.
Really?
Yeah.
I fucking love Steve-O.
Oh, Steve, I thought you said Tebow. I was like, that's crazy.
No, I love Steve-O way more than Tebow. I like Tebow, no problem.
No, I'm Steve-O.
Steve-O's
Greater than Tebow's.
Steve is great.
Jackass is still funny. That movie that came out
course
years
it
was
is.
still a riot.
The one that was just in theaters, I saw it.
It's very funny. I was laughing my
I've
ass.
seen like 2 movies in theaters the last like 3 years, and one of them was Jackass 4.
Made me laugh when I was like 21. It makes me laugh when I'm 43.
What?
That new guy they had in like Jackass 4 was so funny.
Which one? There's a few. The big
bl-
guy?
the blonde-haired guy.
Oh, Poopies?
Your poopies. Yeah.
He's hysterical.
Let's finish up the show.
Also, it's funny because he's like, I'm pretty sure he's like 35.
Yeah, he's like
Like he's not like
yeah.
20 where he's like.
All those guys are older than me, except for the new guy.
No, I'm saying
old
he's a new guy. And
Yeah.
He's the one really big kid. He's like younger. I think he's like his early like 20s, like mid 20s. Zach is his name.
Two things I want to inside Barstool. I want to wrap up. I want one of you. Can you pull up just for right now, Viva La Stool? But first, we'll get to Dave. Has bet $67,000 to win $1 million on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl.
I like it.
I don't hate that bet
His-
at all.
I've been a
His-
Bengals guy for the last like 3 years.
His first 4 Bengals top rankings is the Bengals and 5 is the Eagles. Dude, stop there. I saw it already. Just one sec. No, one more up. So yeah, that's Dave.
Bengals are on the rise.
And the Bengals, it's a good spot to get them right now. I mean, $67K is a crazy. Imagine winning $1 million on a future. Obviously, it's gone up though. What's the number at now for the Bengals?
$67K to win $1 million.
So I mean, it's probably what like 15ish to 1, 14 to 1.
Imagine being so rich you can work out the math. Be like, all right, how much to get $1 million? Like, you're pumping it up the.
Yeah, because you know that's what he did. Because
That's what he tried,
67
right.
is such a weird
Right.
fucking
Did I
number.
just hit it? If I've hit it, it's actually.
If Big Ev was a math in school was gambling math, he'd be at Harvard.
Did I just hit it?
I'm looking right now.
I do have good gambling math. My gambling math is on point always.
Super Bowl.
I mean, it's 14ish to 1. I think of
Yeah, that sounds about right.
right.
60s, right?
67,000 to win.
67, 60 times.
Because obviously 100 to 1 would be 10 to 1. It's like a third.
It's
So maybe like 30.
It's 88. So maybe it's 15.
11 to 1.
Oh.
Well, odds could be a little different.
Right,
you
odds-
know, a
odds.
different.
You might have got it somewhere else. You don't know.
I was close. Probably like 13 to 1, something like that. But
But yeah, that's Dave's future is the Bengals. I don't hate it at all. This is the perfect time to get them there. I mean, it's probably almost the worst time to get them as a future, but
I don't
still.
think so. I think they're gonna.
Well, I'm saying like if you 2 weeks ago when they
That
were
would be
kind of
great, yeah.
down but obviously
think about
it's
1 and 3.
tough.
They probably were at least like 20, 25 to 1.
Yeah, but
Probably
still,
20.
Still 11 to 1 is a great.
No, I mean they're
Great future.
they're gonna be there at the end.
Yeah. Other inside Barstool, there's a new beef now, and I don't think it's gonna end well for somebody. But play this clip for me real quick, and I'll let you know the next one after this. Dukes is working on it. Give him a second.
Sorry.
No, I love it. I love it.
Whoops. Hold on.
I fucking love Dukes so much. So he's doing a 3-man job back there, everybody. He actually is.
I haven't seen this clip yet either.
I haven't either. I don't know what it says, but I know what the
Dukes
next
is like
one
a great utility player. Like you can play every position kind of thing.
No, I'm just calling to see how your morning is.
No,
What's
it's
going
fine.
on?
Yeah, no, fine. Another great. What he did. So Francis, who I have completely snapped in half, called in to talk about the golf, but really about Megan, and he said that Megan didn't want to leave, so he called Megan, and Mike, you'd agree, she essentially confirmed that.
Yes.
So she's off the team. She didn't want to leave, so she's gone. So we need
Megan's
to
off.
replace her.
Yeah, he, whatever, he's mad at me, and I guess whatever, everyone's mad at me in this, but he didn't read a text from like 10 days ago, which clearly stated there was a team of 4 people, but
I understand
whatever.
that. No, I understand that. It's more, my issue now is more, I get that, but my issue is more with Megan was like, she's basically, you'll hear it later. She was basically like, yeah, I didn't want to leave. So I'm like, well, if you want, don't leave. I don't want somebody to be on a team they don't want to be on.
Yeah, that's okay. Well,
You know what I mean?
I'm moving on from that. Yeah, well, we're gonna fill a spot on your team now. So, I don't know. Yes, you have a couple free agents. You got Hank. You got
Hank would be
Smokes.
I don't think I can have that in my life.
You could also just take TJ from them. Clearly, TJ seems to be an outcast.
You and Hank were a team in golf.
Tell me about this Sean Quigley guy. I kind of like what I'm seeing.
So now go to the new beef. You want to guess who it is before I tell Dukes?
I'm gonna guess Francis and Jeff, maybe.
Nope, it's with Kirk.
Oh,
And it's a guy that I don't know if he knows what he's getting into.
I don't know.
I saw it.
It's Nicky Smokes.
Oh, Nicky Smokes is chirping at Kirk.
I just saw it.
Oh, pull up his tweet now, because this tweet.
Wait, should I get the video?
Is there a video?
I see like.
I'm gonna pull a Nev here with the no disrespect. No disrespect to Nicky Smokes, but I think Kirk has him by about 80 IQ points.
Pull that up. Yeah, pull that up, and I'll read
You heard the news,
tweet.
I assume.
No, I'm just calling to see how your morning is.
Wait, what the hell? Why is that?
We need a camera on
Yeah,
Dukes.
that's crazy.
I just saw you tweet about the Kirk thing, so if you wanted to say something, I was right here.
Well, I was talking shit about Kirk.
Oh, I thought you were talking shit about me. I wasn't real sure.
Jeff D was like, you could have Nicky Smokes on your team. He's like, I don't want that in my life. And I said, I'd rather play the app on my couch than play with that weasel rat fuck that makes you
See, I
tap
didn't
into
listen
2
to the whole
inches.
thing for context. I thought you were just talking shit. I was ready for it, though.
What's going on with Kirk?
This weasel rat says he doesn't want to be on my team or want me on his team, and I'd rather play the app on my fucking phone than be on the same team with a guy who makes you tap in from 2 inches on the fucking golf course. That's it. That's the only thing that's going on.
Something.
This
I just
man
saw you tweet about.
has no idea what he's.
Also,
But don't. As someone who's been like in the trenches with Kirk,
You're totally different.
but I think Nicky Smokes can handle. Like I think he can handle it. Like pretty much, if you're just not like a pussy, like you'll be fine.
also Nicky Smokes.
Also-
Nicky Smokes acting like he's Oppenheimer. I don't think he's some great trivia mastermind.
I also
mean,
don't think Kirk was talking about Nicky Smokes. I think he was talking about.
No, I think he was.
Oh, he's talking about Nicky Smokes.
I think he was talking about Nicky.
Yeah,
I'd like to
he
throw my
absolutely
hat
was.
into the ring.
So you're gonna throw yours in?
Yeah, I'd like to throw my hat in the ring.
Your hat-
I'm a great trivia
So
player.
your hat is in the ring for Kirk.
So you'd want to be on Kirk's team?
Yeah, I think I could handle Kirk.
I want to. We got to clip this then, because Dukes is throwing his hat.
Oh.
Are you, Big Ev? Are you throwing your hat into the ring, back into the ring for Kirk Minahan's team?
No, I'm good.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
Like I like.
I have no
the
issue.
X-Men,
I have
but
no
would.
issue with Kirk. I just don't really. It's just like not. It's. I mean, he won. It's like good for they won. I mean, congrats. It just. I don't know. It's. I'm all good.
Okay, so
I
Dukes
don't
is
need-
in.
I don't care that
Well,
much.
that's the thing. I don't want to seem disloyal to the Iceman. It's just like we're not playing, so like I will play.
No, your team. Oh, sorry, your
You're
team
a
was
free
not
agent.
brought.
Yeah.
So you're a free agent. That's not being disloyal.
Yeah, I didn't want to be. I just don't want it to be like, yeah, I respect
Don't be
Elliot
disloyal
too
about
much.
that.
Yeah.
Listen,
And
and
Nate.
the Ice Dogs.
Oh, I mean,
are,
you guys didn't. I mean, that's some. If you don't get brought in, what can you do? You got to be a free agent.
Like he's got to look up my periodic table. I went on a.
What are your strengths? So why would Kirk want to take you? What are you good at in trivia? What do you think you're?
It's more what am I not good at? I'm
No,
not,
no,
I'm
no,
not,
no.
I'm not good at the geographies. I'm great at college basketball. I have a great niche category.
Right, you have Rico
I have
for
great
that.
NFL, college football. You could also check my daily dozens that I put up daily. I miss like 2 questions a day. I get everything. Weaknesses, celebrity mashups.
That's something. That's something you need help with.
I'm just throwing my hat. Into
I know.
the ring.
No, it's
So
fair.
is his hat.
No, I know. I'm just trying to.
And also,
I'm trying to find out like how we could help.
I mean, I used to read sports almanacs. I'm good at sports. I'm good at movies.
Are
I'm
you good at like
TV.
modern music? Like the last like 10 years?
Yeah, on
That's
fire.
something they need help with.
Weirdo in music.
That's a
Are you
help.
Kirk's like vetting process?
I think he really is.
Like,
I don't know
I'm-
what
no,
the-
I'm just-
interviewing him. Like, what,
Yeah.
what can you do for Kirk?
I'm just trying to see how we could help. That's all. I'm trying to help. Him saying he's really good at music is going to help his candidacy.
But I'm saying he has a much better chance of being on a different team. Let's just call it what it is.
I don't know.
Why?
Kirk is very open to new
Yeah.
guys, and Dukes.
I'm
is
not
such-
rooting against Dukes
No,
getting on a
Dukes-
team.
I think Duke's a real chance.
Weirdly enough, Dukes is such a Kirk Minahan type of teammate because he can just do whatever with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and
you can
I'm-
take whatever.
And I'm very easy to kick off.
Yes, that's what
well,
I'm saying.
well, that's what I was gonna say. Dukes would be like he'd add him and then kick him off like 2 seconds after he added him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why he's kind of perfect for the team,
Yeah,
and he
like-
won't take it personally.
I think Dukes would be a great. I think Dukes is a real shot.
I'm pulling for you, Dukes. I'm not
Yeah,
rooting
no,
against you.
it's also like at the end of the day, like No sweat off my back.
Yeah, no, listen. Trivia, this is why this company is fun. I'm finally in it, so I get to, now I'm excited to talk about it. We did go 0-3, but we are in the tournament. We're disrespected, ranked. We're ranked last. Everyone keeps...
It should be. You guys stink at trivia.
What? We almost won.
There's only one way to go but up.
Yeah, we're going to win. It depends on the schedule, how hard the schedule
It
is.
doesn't matter what the schedule is. You have no chance.
Evan!
Not to win.
We got a chance to make the playoffs.
You have no chance.
Zero chance.
I can't believe this is such disrespect.
You're saying you only make I think all but 6 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, correct. They have
No,
chance.
it might be 4 teams.
The teams that have been in the dozen now, are so good. That's why it's so hard to get in. Now, once you're off, that's why I've just checked out of trivia because I realized once I got kicked off Kirk's team, I was like, I'll never be on a good enough team to get in.
Well, you were in the playoffs last year with the family.
We were, but you see, we were 10 times better than Marty, but we can't get a fan vote, so it is what it is.
You got to get a fan vote.
That's why I'm checking because I knew it's
10 times better. No.
Hashtag doesn't rigged.
You ain't 10 times better than us.
We smoked it. We played 1-on-1. I think we doubled you up.
It was one game. And
that was in doubled up. And listen, I love Jeff. He does the right thing. The questions are a little favored towards you. He would wrap.
No.
Still
No disrespect.
Big Gav.
Hashtag doesn't rigged.
No.
Oh no! Oh, we know. We know what time it is.
Oh.
You kidding me? It was a team last year of the playoffs. A team of Big Ev, Reegs, and John Rich goes against PFT, Brandon Walker, and Fran. Who do you think he wants to win? Come on. And I love Jeff. He should do it. He's smart. He's smart. Him doing that is smart. It's absolutely what he should do. Come on.
This is why we got to start talking about more inside Boston.
It's the game. I'm not mad at him. Like I said, you should have. You want the whole point is to get people to watch it. Obviously, you're going to watch a match with more higher profile people than lower profile. It's a numbers game. I don't behave him because of it. It just is what it is.
Might be a second battle now in Barstool with Evan, Jeff D'Lo.
Well, all I've done is been complimentary. I'm just saying it's just
not all.
It's all love. It's all
not
love.
all. All wasn't love.
Saying
It
the
was
game
some
was kind
love.
of a fraud. I mean,
But there
I would
was
say not fraud.
there was some. Not all, I wouldn't say all love.
Fraud would be a stretch. I wouldn't say fraud.
hashtag doesn't rig.
I would say there's
disagree with
obviously the teams you want. There's clear teams that you want in the end. But they also are I will admit they also are they are better at trivia as well. I would admit that.
To Jeff's point though, Uptown Balls won. I mean, I would say Tommy Smitty.
Honkers won.
Honkers won with Mincy and those guys are all obviously high profile guys, but they're not as big as Dave's never won. Dan's never won.
But they're always in the end. They're good though. Their team's really good.
Listen,
Eddie and Clem are very good.
Eddie and Clem are very good.
And
Dave's
Dave's very good at just because so many people talk each other out of answers. Yep. Dave just hears the gut reaction and goes and it works 99% of the time.
Do you think Frank was onto something? Like giving Ben Mintz a Chick-fil-A question?
I mean, it's Ben Mintz and Chick-fil-A, Dukes. Chick-fil-A.
You got Ben Mintz and you ask him a Chick-fil-A question.
Listen.
Might as well ask the Tank a hot dog question.
Listen, I think that Jeff is smart. The Ice Dogs are in. I think he's fair to put us in.
I think the dozen's on the up and up. I think it's an impossible job.
I think that everyone's gonna try and come after us, and we're gonna make a run.
I don't think anyone's gonna try to come after you.
Yeah, they are. Everyone's
just gonna
worried.
walk over you.
Everyone's worried about the Ice Dogs.
The Ice Dogs are he's the back of it. We're putting up points today, baby.
Do you know anything about Terminator? No, you don't.
I don't need to.
We do.
I know a little bit.
I played you when you had a Terminator question. I think we won
Artie, who's the female lead in Terminator?
18-9, something like that.
Joey Chestnut knows it.
Okay.
I know it.
Chestnut's on mute besides Terminator.
Exactly. That's all we need him for.
Yandel's your best
good.
player.
Yandel's good.
But Yandel's he's decent.
Nah, he's good.
He should on a dozen team. He should never be your best player.
Don't lash out. You're not in it, Ev.
I'm not lashing.
You're lashing out the Ice Dogs for no reason. I don't know what you're lash out for the Ice. Lash out at Jeff, not the Dogs.
I have a question, Ev. Do you think that if just going based off what you're saying, potentially, you didn't say it, but potentially hashtag dozen rigged. Do you think that the dozen was rigged for the Ice Dogs to get in?
The fan vote is always a thing.
No, the fan vote's probably real. No, I don't think it was rigged for them to get in like that way. No.
That's the interviewer.
That is one thing.
No, I don't think he rigs the fan vote. No, I think that's no.
It's not crazy to say that Joey Chestnut.
He doesn't like rig the dozen. I think there's just like occasional questions where like maybe this side gets a little easier one than the other.
Should we just interrogate Gooch? Should we get Gooch in here and just interrogate?
And he doesn't. And Jeff doesn't write all the questions. In fairness, as well.
Yeah, because
I just think
this is also
it's not rigged. I just think from time to time.
What's happening right here, and what we just talked about for 15 minutes is why the dozen is the best, because it's the only thing that we have that is a real sports league to us. There's trades, there's cutting, there's eliminations, there's allegations,
painful losses.
This is college football. What's happening right now? The Michigan, the best team in the league's cheating right now.
Exhilarating wins.
This is what's the final?
Cheating.
What's the final? No, I'm saying like comparing it to college football. Like Michigan cheating. What's the Final Four going to be? Is it going to be Alabama, Georgia, fucking Ohio State, and Michigan? Like, it's literally what college football is in our own place, and I love it. This is why I'm happy I'm finally involved with it. Been struggling to get. That's why I was like, that's when you said it. I had to go outside. I had to get some big names to try and fucking get it. And listen, you know who loves it? Those two guys. Yandel and Chestnut are like, oh man, I hope he puts this in a live show. I hope he does this. Like, that's why the dozen's great. And it's wild that Quig's already got cut. Who's going to be on his team? It's going to be a very fun time. And is it rigged? We don't know. That's why it's the best.
It's also, do you think it's to some extent like the questions that you think are easy are subjective in fairness to, like, you might think one's question's easy while someone else might find the one.
That's why it's an impossible job.
It's all, because one person watched a TV show and one person didn't watch a TV show. And it's like, well, that was easy. You know, like my niche of Curb Your Enthusiasm is easy for me, but it's hard that's why it's the best. All right, that's the show. Barstool Radio is on now. We'll be back. Barstool Basketball plays tomorrow against the last place team. Is there a look-ahead spot? Is there a look-ahead spot, Coach?
What's that now?
Is there a look-ahead spot?
For our team? No. There's no such thing as look-ahead spots for our team. We're going to play to win tomorrow.
All right.
As always.
That's the show. We'll be back tomorrow. See you guys.